This is BFBS Esports Live with OJ Borge.
Yes, I am indeed OJ Borge. Welcome along to Esports Live on BFBS. If this is your first time along, well, we've been here for 2 seasons already. This is our 3rd season, where we're a season older, a season wiser, and maybe even a season further from the sun. All the usual stuff we've done on previous seasons, plus a few exciting changes. So we'll talk to you about our gaming tournaments and the fact the War Room is opening. But I do have a new co-host. He's been parachuted in to give me some backup. You may have heard him on the very first series of Esports Live. You may know him as Ace. You may know him as the founder and CEO of Skal Esports. Hello and welcome, Jonah Jupp.
I am very good, OJ. It's good to be back, finally home, back on UK soil.
Yeah, because we didn't speak to you at all in the 2nd season. We missed you. Where were you in the world?
No, so I've been deployed to Estonia for the last 6 months with the QRH battle group. It was a fantastic experience, but very, very, very busy. Yeah.
So I said we were going to airdrop you in or parachute you in. Have you got that ability? If we get you up in a plane and we airdrop you in, is that fine? Have you got your wings?
Definitely not. No.
Right then, we'll have to put you in a crate and drop you in that way. For people who don't know you, you've been around esports for ages, haven't you?
Yes, yeah, spent the last 10 years in esports.
Well, listen, it is great to have you as part of the show. We'll get into the things you do. We'll talk about Skal Esports in a bit and what you're looking to do in the future and why you're part of this. And we'll talk about the War Room because there's a game that you're playing right now. Don't tell us right this second. Don't tell us right this second because the game is playing. If you wanted to join in, you'll be able to, and we'll tell you all about it. Ace, Jonah, did you ever play League? Have you ever had a crack at it?
So, yeah, I mean, I'm horrendous at it. I know Super Goon, who's one of the lead players for the army, he always took the mick out of me about how terrible I was at League of Legends. I just never got the hang of it. It's just so much going on in one place.
There is so much going on. I mean, it's a real grind as well if you're going to get into it. And I remember I actually hosted a couple of League tournaments, League big shows a few years ago. And Riot Games, who make League of Legends, were like, right, we're going to get someone who's a pro to come and teach you it. And they sat me down with someone, and I did it over Zoom. And, you know, they gave me the best education you could ever have to learn how to play League. Did I know what was going on? Did I? Hell. I was a jungler, and that's about the most I took out of it. Now, Jonah, I mentioned before that we're going to have some gaming going on during this. The War Room is born. What are you playing right now?
Yeah, so I'm playing Fall Guys currently. And it'd be great over the next 10 episodes to see if we can get some listeners involved over on inside of the game. So today's lobby code is CFIXG.
Come on, man. You're a Forces man. Do it phonetically. Come on, Jonah. Do it phonetically.
Gosh. Charlie, Foxtrot, Indigo, X-Ray, Golf.
Yeah, I think you'll find you've got that wrong. It's actually Cheese, Flipper, Ipswich, Xylophone, Guff. I think you'll find is the right.
Yes, that is completely correct. Yeah, thanks for that, OJ. Yeah, appreciate it.
No worries. So people join in. If no one's ever played... they played Fall Guys before. It is a game that I had to ban from my house because not only I, but my kids started losing our minds at that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely not one for the competitive. It's a bit much. Lots of shouting, lots of screaming, and yeah, there's some arguments to be had over Fall Guys, but definitely a fun game to play nonetheless.
Yeah, for people who've not played it, go on, explain how it works.
So essentially, it's a game show type game whereby there's several different rounds, and each round people are eliminated until there's one winner. Now, the games could range from obstacle courses to sort of jumping puzzles to collecting certain items. There's loads of different sections, and there's about 4 different rounds per game, but only one person comes out on top, and they get the crown at the end of it.
You ever won one?
I have, yes, and I'm currently dressed as a Viking very appropriately for my organisation. Being a Viking-esque org, but yes, I have won a few, but I'm not very good at the game. But it's definitely
I don't think I've even got to the final round when I've played it. For people who don't know, Skal Esports, SKL, means what in Swedish?
It means cheers, not bowl, as a lot of people seem to think it is. I'd not call my organisation Bowl Esports.
No, I mean, it's an interesting one, but Cheers Esports is way better. So across this series of Esports Live, we're going to host the War Room, a gaming lobby throughout our time on air, so between 6:30 and 7 if you're listening live on BFBS. Please come in and have a chance to test yourselves against us and against the pros as well. I say us. Jonah will be playing. I really can't multitask. I'll give it a go, but I tried it in the last episode of last season and just kept forgetting what I was supposed to be doing. We're going to play a number of different games across the next 10 weeks. So Call of Duty, everything that you like playing, we will get in there. We'll try and get a load of the Forces Esports guys in as well. Try and get some sort of rivalry going between the Army, the Air Force, and the Navy. If you want to follow us at BFBS Radio HQ on Twitter for all the lobby information, when we're opening up the War Room and what game we'll be playing, we'll make sure it's out there way ahead of it. What other games do you think we'll play over the next few weeks? What are you playing at the moment, Jonah?
So recently I'm playing a lot of Valorant. That's the only thing really been keeping me entertained over in Estonia. My staff sergeant got a bit sick of me shouting at my computer over in Estonia, trying to I think he knows more about the game just from me shouting than I do from actually playing. So, definitely Valorant's top of my list right now, but Call of Duty, I'm looking for COD 3 to coming out next month.
Yeah, it's going to be good when the new COD drops. Of course, we'll be covering that on BFBS. Esports Live when it does. Just a bit about you as well then. Now, obviously, you've got your own esports team right now, but where did it start for you? What was the first esport you played? Where was your way into esports?
So when I got to about 13, 14 years old, I started playing Rainbow Six Siege on its release. I played that heavily as a kid, sort of through my GCSEs sort of time, and then got to a point where I could afford to play it semi-professionally. I started playing for a team. We won a few competitions, and that was sort of my entrance into esports and the industry. But yeah, that was sort of my key golden ticket.
Yeah, Rainbow Six Siege is great. If you've never played it, it's almost cinematographic, the way it works, the way you have to try and win each round. Here's a question. I think I asked this a lot over the past 2 seasons. You're an Army medic. Now, obviously, you've trained, that sort of thing. Playing Rainbow Six Siege, do you think if you have got a Forces background, it helps you?
I don't know. There's some very bizarre futuristic gadgets in the game. I'd say maybe discipline-wise, like not holding angles for too long, and communication-wise, yeah, maybe, but definitely not through not for the placing of floor mats and explosive traps and things like that.
Because I might be 44, but if it was going to help me, I was very close to signing back up again, enrolling and enlisting, if it could help me in the esports world. Let's talk about Skal Esports. What went into it, setting it up? Because that's a big old thing. Alongside your day job as an Army medic, that is a big old thing to set up a whole esports org.
Yeah, of course. It takes a lot of time and a lot of patience to set it up. And sort of my experience with Army esports especially was a key thing to sort of get me involved further in the esports industry and start setting up my own org. Now, as great as Army Esports is, and the amount of time and effort that everyone puts into it, it's fantastic. It's a fantastic organization. If you want a way into esports and want to get involved, unfortunately, as a way the Army is, we're governed by a lot of policy and procedure, and also wanted to have a focus on mental well-being. So setting up Skal Esports was sort of the key thing for me. As someone myself who, there's tough times, when you're away from family, away from home, and you want to play with some friends, esports is really a key way into that. And setting up my own organization was that little bit of me going into the industry to, enable that for some people. And to bring people, like-minded people together.
Yeah, and it's a great thing you've done as well. I mean, the whole issue of mental well-being, especially if you're away for a month, 6 months, a year, that ability to chat to people back home, to still have a life while you're away. I mean, it must be so important.
Yeah, 100%. And, for those people, especially on the winter tour, at Britain now, a lot of the time is going to be spent inside because it's far too cold in Estonia in the winter to be outside. So having that little thing to do and that communication back home is a really positive way to benefit their mental well-being.
Yeah, and it's great. I mean, I guess it's great as well that the Army is so encouraging, because when you move on, you become a reservist next year, to have something which has been set up already, something that you can go straight into. I mean, that's positive for you, not just at the moment, for your future career.
Yeah, exactly. So leaving next July, it was a tough decision, but I think it's for the best. I mean, I want to pour more of my time into the organization, and as well as spend some more time, obviously, of course, with my family. But being able to benefit that a little bit more and spend a little bit more time refining it and making a dent in the esports industry, especially the UK scene, which is forever growing, as you know yourself, being involved, is really important for me.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to be in it day in, day out. It's such a 24-hour day industry. You've played all over the world, I would guess. You've been all over the world with the Army. What's the strangest place you've ever actually been able to play a game? Is there one?
Play a game?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Definitely many a top bunk in a random old rundown barracks room somewhere in the world, playing probably some Mario Kart as me and my partner like to play back at home. She's very competitive.
Yeah, well, listen, I am a big fan of Mario Kart, and I think I've smashed more controllers because of that game than any other. Let's talk gaming festivals, because you go quite a lot. You've been with Army Esports, you've been with your own esports org as well, and there's a big one coming up in the next few weeks.
Yeah, so Epic 40 will be kicking off at the Kettering Leisure Village on Thursday, the 26th of October till the 29th. So they're going to be playing some competitive CSGO, Valorant, StarCraft 2 and Overwatch 2. There's going to be a lot of stage content there, some fun tournaments, some big games, some board game area. There's a board games area. Are you a fan of a board game, OJ?
Oh, I like a board game. I cannot lie. I like a board game, very much so. Have you played Exploding Kittens, which is a card game?
I have played Exploding Kittens. That was the game of Estonia.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it get intense?
It did get intense. Yeah, for sure.
We took it on a family holiday with my brother and my mum. We took it to a caravan weekend we had recently where it got very heated. It was the end of the night. There'd been a few drinks had been partaken in. And I admit, it wasn't me. Somebody threw their cards. Wasn't me,
Ridiculous.
though. Wasn't me. So there's a board games area. Are you taking Skal Esports there?
We are, yeah. So we've just this is pretty exclusive. We've signed a team to go play Valorant for us. We're just sort of in the workings of working it out logistically, but yeah, we will be sending a Valorant team to represent us there. They've got a pretty decent chance of winning, I hope. So
yeah, it's exciting. As a Valorant player yourself, do you ever think about going, right, hang on a second, guys, this is my organization, I'm subbing myself in?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. For the greater good, no. No way.
Now let's talk about a news story that's been coming out in the last few days. It regards FIFA, which is getting a big old relaunch again. It's the player called Deluxe. What's happened to Deluxe? So yeah,
UK-based FIFA player Deluxe, or Flynn Smith, has been banned for 2 years from the ESIC, which is like the Champions tournament, and that's because of corrupt betting practices. So a statement from FIFA has been released to say that Mr. Smith has been involved in improper influence on match outcomes and the involvement of which contravened with the ESIC's anti-corruption code. Now, unfortunately, yeah, there is a lot of teams, a lot of individuals that place bets down and then sway the odds in their favor of winning extra cash. So yeah, I mean, esports organizations and companies are really cracking down on it at the moment.
Well, they still got to, really, because there's a lot of betting companies that sponsor teams. I know around the Counter-Strike world that I work in, that is happening. 2 years out of the game as a ban. I mean, that is a massive ban. I guess they had to go for something big, but for him, that is a lot he's going to miss out on.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, at this point, it could be career failing. I mean, 2 years out of the industry, and also it's not even just that; it's the bad rep that'll be over him for the rest of his esports career. It's not going to look good for him, and also being picked up by other esports. So it's going to be a hard one.
Jonah, it's been so much better to have you on the show. I've enjoyed it. First time we've been here together.
I know, it's good. We've got like 9 more episodes to go.
I know. So, who knows where we'll be in 9 more episodes' time. Next week, the War Room will be fully going. We will have people from Army Esports, from the RAF, and from the Navy in as well. What game are we going to have in the War Room next week? Because you are, of course, the captain of that. You are our brigadier when it comes to that.
Oh, definitely not. Don't you ever call me that. But no, for sure. So we're going to have Fall Guys again. We'll make sure the lobby codes gets put on Twitter for you guys. To give you guys a bit enough notice to join in.
Yeah, please do. It really, really is one of those games that if you've never played Fall Guys before, then you will love it.
Yeah, definitely the Space Force. We're definitely going to provide the smoke for them today, and we're definitely taking our trophy home.